Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Welcome, welcome, Atlas Corps. My name is Abby Robinson. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Atlas Corps, and more important, I am a Class 2 alum who served in Colombia. And I want to welcome you all to our celebration of service. Today, we're going to highlight our amazing Atlas Corps social change leaders who recently completed or will soon complete their leadership programs as part of our fellowship or our Virtual Leadership Institute. Now, as some of you may know, 2021 is a milestone year for Atlas Corps. We celebrate 15 years as an organization. And in fact, we're having our big anniversary celebration on November 20th. We're also having a special, just announcing here today, November 18th, a special live stream. And so we'll be sending out information, so mark your calendars. In addition, today we are making history. I love this year because I feel like every day we make history. Today, this is the first time we're having a joint celebration that honors our Atlas Corps fellows who've done our fellowship program and our Atlas Corps virtual scholars. We are going to recognize our outstanding leaders from fellow classes 39 and 40 and our equally amazing scholars from cohorts 1, yes, 1, 2, and 7. We have some fantastic speakers today that are going to showcase and share the fellow and scholar perspective. And we're also going to hear from our new CEO. As many of you may know, we just welcomed a new CEO in September. So today is an exciting day, and we are glad that you are here to join us. So on that note, I am pleased to kick it off with our first speaker of the day, and that is one of our fellows. It is Kayode from Class 39, an Atlas Corps fellow from Nigeria who served at Evidence Action. Let me share a little bit about his background. He is an information technology security expert with more than 10 years experience in consulting training, project management, and cybersecurity. He earned a post-secondary degree in electronics computer engineering from the prestigious Lagos State University. And before his fellowship, he was the CEO of SecurePoint Technologies, where he provided services like IT outsourcing, IT security, and cloud services. Through his advocacy work, he has trained more than 2,000 people on skills like basic computing, data management, and online privacy. At Evidence Action, Kayode serves as the Global IT Systems Fellow, assisting with structural and security improvements to Evidence Action systems in order to enhance the ways that IT systems support their work. And what I love is that so many people, when they think of Atlas Corps, they think of nonprofit social change. They might not think of technology. And here we have a fellow who has an educational background, a professional experience, and has been active in enhancing tech. And what a key element in our world today. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Kayode. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much, Abby. It's an honor to be here. And hello to our viewers all across the world, to our fellows, the VLI fellows, and to the Atlas Corps staff. It's an awesome honor to be here today. I just wanted to reflect on what the past 18 months looked like to me. At the start of 2020, I had high hopes. I had expectations. 2020 was supposed to be the end of a decade, and we all expected new beginnings, right? But yes, we had new beginnings in 2020, but it was not the type that we anticipated. Our new beginnings came with buzzwords such as COVID, work from home, lockdown, Black Lives Matter, Me Too, impeachment, mental health, and blah, blah, blah. In Nigeria, one popular buzzword were palliatives, or sometimes the lack of palliatives. One big fear I had in 2020 was that repetition that this is impossible. And I felt this way because of the COVID virus that had scourged the whole world. Somehow, I saw that impossibility is nothing. And I will explain to you. When I did my host organization interview in February 2020, I was looking forward to an awesome time in the US. I had secretly wished that I get an extension from the regular 12 months fellowship to 18 months so that I get to spend a long time in the US. As an IT professional, I had looked forward to attending several demo days, IT summits, and networking here in the US. At around the same time, this quiet news of this new viral disease was spreading, albeit under the shadows. Late in February, I got the congratulatory email from Lizzie, and the processing for my journey to the US began. I was in high spirits. My dreams were coming true. Of course, it was not the first time I was visiting the US, but this would have been the first time I would come to the US as a resident. And suddenly, that email dropped. Dear Class 39 Fellows, I hope this email finds you well. In light of the spread of the COVID-19 illness across the world, Atlas Corps is taking steps to protect the health, welfare, and safety of all our fellows. Long story short, Atlas Corps was not sure of our arriving the US. And it was a huge relief for me when I got a follow-up email a couple of months later to say that we're going to start the very first blended fellowship. Nothing is impossible. Let me explain that. Atlas Corps had every excuse to cancel the fellowship during my time. There was a pandemic. We did not even know if we were going to survive the year. But guess what? Today, we're graduating the very first set, the numero uno of blended fellows. Of course, our fellowship started on a high note. There were new classmates to meet, assignments to finish, exciting tasks assigned to us. And in all of the euphoria, I had actually forgotten about coming to the United States because the pandemic was still on. Airports were shut, flights were not flying. So I just thought this was good enough opportunity for me. Let me make do with the little I have and get this fellowship done with. Thankfully, before the US Embassy in Nigeria was shut down, I had actually put in my application for a visa. Unfortunately, at that time, the visa I applied for was not so popular in the country. So I actually did not expect to get the visa. Well, guess what? 6 months later, the US Embassy sent an SMS to me to come pick up my passport. And in the passport was my visa. Nothing is impossible. Despite getting my visa, I still did not expect that I was going to be in the US because COVID again was still raging. And before I knew it, I have arrived in the US. Arriving in the US helped me build better connection with my host organization because I had actually worked with them for about 8 months before arriving in the US. But the kind of engagement I got when I arrived in the US sort of shot up. I got more responsibilities. I built better relationships with people outside the global operations office that I worked from. More importantly for me, I was able to build lifelong relationship with fellows. I lived with a couple of fellows that we get to network and share ideas, talk about our cultures, talk about our countries. We're able to collaborate and work with each other. Just last night, we had a very long dinner, which also followed very exciting conversations between us. I want to appreciate my host organization for the opportunity offered to me, for the friendship offered to me during my fellowship period. I'd also want to congratulate Class 39 and Class 40, and also all the virtual leadership fellows. You are all awesome. Well done. I'm certain that the dream that I have, that I want to have friends all across the world, has certainly come to pass because now I know that if I find myself in Egypt, if I find myself in Ethiopia, if I find myself in Pakistan, in Nepal, in Kenya, Malawi, or any other country where we have amazing Atlas Corps fellows, I know definitely that I am at home and I'll not be lost. I want to extend my appreciation to Atlas Corps host organizations, the partners, the local ambassadors. Thank you so much for all you do, because without you, we would not be here. Without the host organizations, we would not have places to serve. Without the partners, we will not have the fundings and the connections to do the things that we do. Without the local ambassadors, we may not integrate very well into society. My local ambassador was very awesome. Thank you very much, Luigi. As our fellowship draws to a close, I want to leave us with this quote. It was Muhammad Ali that said, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small people who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power that they have to change it." Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. So everyone listening to me today, it's okay to be humble. It's okay to have moral, but never take no for an answer. Never let anyone talk you down. Never let anyone discourage you from your dreams. It's never been done before means it's an opportunity for you to be the numero uno. Just like we are, class 39, we started the blended fellowship. To my classmates, fellows, alumni, Atlas Core staff, partners, friends, impossible is potential, impossible is temporal, and most importantly, impossible is nothing. Thank you very much, and over back to you, Abby.
Nothing is impossible. I love it. And I think what's amazing is that it may take longer than anticipated, or it may look different than we expected. But the most important message is that it is possible. And an extra big kudos. We talked about making history at the beginning. And yes, you are part of the history of Atlas Core, being the first blended class. So congratulations. And also, just so everyone understands, the blended class, so Atlas Core fellows in our classic model come to the US for their full service. And we did this pivot where fellows such as Coyote and his other fellows in his class, they started virtually with the goal that they'd end their fellowship in the US. And we commend them for their trust and their confidence and their flexibility in embracing this idea that, yes, we can start the fellowship from our homes and then we can travel to the US. So congratulations to you and to all your fellows, and thank you for your inspiring words. Excellent. And now let's hear from one of our Virtual Leadership Institute scholars. So our Virtual Leadership Institute was also a new development over these past months. In November of 2020, we launched this Virtual Leadership Institute. And the idea was that we would use our leadership model of developing self, developing others, and leading movements, and put that in an online format and engage with social change leaders throughout the world. And we've enrolled approximately 300 individuals over this past 12 to 18 months. And today we have one of those scholars to share with us, and she is from cohort 1. She's a scholar from Egypt. Her name is Raneem, and she has more than 9 years of experience in civil society and journalism. She's the founder and executive director of the feminist media project called She Has Other Faces. The project incorporates an online platform which integrates a feminist perspective into the content it publishes, produces feminist comics and podcasts, and organizes workshops on gender-sensitive journalism. And Raneem is a specialized trainer in gender-sensitive journalism and the author of an ebook, The Portrayal of Women in Egyptian Movies, Posters from the Birth of Talkies Until 2015. She also leads workshops on film criticism from a feminist perspective. Before devoting her full-time work to feminist activism and gender-sensitive media, she worked as a journalist for several Egyptian newspapers and still writes articles for various online platforms. Wow, what an amazing background. So I'm going to invite Raneem to the stage to share with us a few words. Raneem, welcome.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts about this wonderful journey, about this wonderful experience. I'm so happy to be with you today. And let me say at the beginning that I believe that every social leader carries with them a bag or a suitcase of experiences. And in my own, the Virtual Leadership Institute is one of the most precious and valuable experiences I have until now. Before the Virtual Leadership Institute, I hadn't a very good experience with online learning programs. So when I joined the program in November 2020, I was not sure how things would play out. But after the launch of the first module, I felt the difference. It was an exciting, wonderful, and fulfilling learning journey. Throughout this journey, I didn't experience the sense of isolation that I felt through many of the online learning programs I had joined before. I found myself surrounded by like-minded people from every part in this world. I found in them inspiration, diversity, inclusion, and energy. I felt the sense of belonging, which is fundamental to success and achievement. I enjoyed the self-paced assignments. They take you on an exciting journey of learning. Even if you think that you know a lot about certain topic, you will find that there is more about it than what you think or you see. I remember that there was an assignment about the intersectionality. I said, yes, it's mine. It's gonna be so easy. There's nothing new because I consider myself a feminist who adopts an intersectional approach. But when I started working on it, I realized that there is more to it than meets the eye. I watched videos and read articles that grapple with intersectionality from different perspectives. At the end, I found out that the intersectional lens I was looking through has some scratches that need to be fixed. This is just an example of how the Virtual Leadership Institute assignments are effective learning tools. My group, the peer coaching, which I prefer to talk about because it was the best part for me in the whole program, my group was a group of women, which means to me solidarity and unparalleled support. They were very supportive, encouraging, and cooperative. When we had our first call, I was very nervous and anxious because at that time I decided that my leadership project would be to develop a small handbook for Arabic-speaking journalists in my country to provide them with a few guidelines to report on health crises like epidemics, pandemics, but from a feminist perspective. But at that time, I had no plan or strategy or schedule or anything. I just had the idea. But thanks to Debbie, our coach, and my colleagues, I became able to create a logic model, make a map for my own project, and conduct analysis to identify the needs, threats, and opportunities as well. They shared with me resources to help me in my research, discussed with me the points of weakness and strength, and suggested solutions to the problems I encountered. The peer coaching calls and the self-paced assignments helped me to move forward with the preparation stage of my project, then the implementation stage, which I have reached the final stretch of it, and I hope soon I will have the handbook in my hand. The Virtual Leadership Institute is really an experience that fostered my motivation and piqued my curiosity. Now I want to be global. I want to cultivate my knowledge about social change happening everywhere, not only in my region or continent. Thanks to the Virtual Leadership Institute, I understood that we as social leaders will grow, will be stronger, will be more effective if we break the walls that separate us, if we listen to each other, if we learn from each other, and of course, if we help each other. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I will always have very fond memories of my time at the Virtual Leadership Institute. So thank you so much, and I welcome you back, Abby.
Thank you, Raneem. What inspiring words. And I love the sharing of sense of belonging and creating these connections across borders. And your final words, we grow, we become stronger, we become more effective when we listen, learn, and support one another. Just amazing. And I think from you being a pioneer as well, part of our first cohort, and when we were thinking about how do we create this, it's just inspiring to hear that the community that is really at the heart of Atlas Corp was something that you experienced. So thank you for sharing those words and continued success in all the outreach and activities you're doing. And we look forward to hearing more of your future achievements and activities. Excellent. And just thanks again to Coyote and Raneem for sharing their thoughts and representing their class and their cohort. They're just a few of the voices that show what these individual leaders are achieving. And I think it's a great example about this idea of the evolution of leadership. And as Cody's mentioning, 12 months ago, even 6 months ago, we were all different people. And we had thoughts, we had dreams, we had visions. And over these months, they've all changed and we've all grown and we've all evolved. And that's what Atlas Corp is here for, is as people progress on this personal, professional journey of life, we want to be part of that evolution and helping them grow and helping them connect to others to help them grow both now and to support them into the future. And even as an organization, Atlas Corp continues to evolve. This year we celebrate 15 years. And over these 15 years, we've gone through a lot of changes. And we've learned we really are a learning organization. We do leadership programs. And even internally, we are continually revising, reflecting, enhancing. And now in 2021, we're going through a leadership evolution as an organization. We transitioned from an inspiring founder and CEO in Scott Beal, launching the organization 15 years ago. I had the opportunity to serve as the acting, coming from the community as an alum, and over the course of 2021 to continue our leadership as we were positioning ourselves and searching for that individual to take the helm. And we found that person who came on officially in September. And over these past weeks, I've been engaging in this listening tour to get to know our community and to learn and to really guide us into this evolution of Atlas Corps. So it is with great excitement that I introduce to you to share some words our new CEO, Bijan. Bijan, welcome.
Thank you, Abby, and wonderful, wonderful celebration. How do I follow up on these words? And especially if you have questions whether these individuals and the entire classes will continue to develop self, develop others, and lead movements, I think those doubts should have ended right now. I am so grateful to you for being our partners in launching our new blended fellowship and Virtual Leadership Institute. Couldn't have happened without you. And Abby mentioned, as our founder and first CEO, Scott Beal, shared at the beginning of these programs, he founded Atlas Corps on the belief that talent is universal, but opportunity is not. And that's even more true these days. With those travel and visa challenges, Coyote mentioned them, we believe that the most effective way to address social issues is to develop leaders and to connect them to each other, to innovate together and to grow. And COVID-19 really did present a challenge to our work and will continue to do in the future, but it's also an opportunity. We've launched this new program. The team that I'm just becoming a part of launched it. And with the hope that we can continue to learn and grow together, even if we're not able to be in the same room. And you are the pioneers of this. You have piloted the Blended Fellowship and Virtual Leadership Institute that are the two innovations within Atlas Corps. So you have all embraced the possibility and walked with us into something unknown. That's a leadership skill in itself. You got over the bumps and made the most of the opportunity. This is a learning experience, not just for you, but as Abby mentioned, it was also for us and will continue to be. And that's why we need and we really welcome your feedback on the program in order to improve what we do. So kudos to you, celebration of your engagement, your leadership, and your hard work. Thank you for persevering through tech challenges, time zone differences and late calls, and the challenges of your host organization service and your leadership projects, all during a really challenging year around the globe. You are an inspiration. Please continue to engage in the community. It's the most valuable outcome of what we are trying to create. Being part of the global community, and as Coyote mentioned, feeling home wherever you go because you know there is a community member that can help you, that is part of who you are. Let me end with an anecdote about community and why it's so important to me and why I am so excited to have you part of a community that we are all sharing. Exactly 12 years ago, I woke up, I was still living in Washington, D.C., and I woke up in the morning and saw the news that there had been a suicide attack on the UN headquarters in Pakistan. And I knew that one of my friends, who I'm part of an alumni community with, was actually working in that building. And it took me a few hours to reach him on his mobile, and he was very shaken and he was okay, but he has lost close colleagues in the attack. And so together with friends from that same alumni community, we organized outreach to the entire alumni community to make sure people are able to get in touch with our friend over the coming months and see what we can do for him and check in whether he's doing okay. And 10 years later, when we were coming for a reunion, we were coming together for a reunion, he was one of the speakers, and I got the opportunity to engage with him in person again and speak to him. And he mentioned to me, you know, back then, I was really ready to end, to close, to quit my job. I was not well. The only reason I kept going was because of the messages that this community sent to me and kept in touch and showed their kindness and compassion and care. And I'm mentioning this to you because you have grown as a community. You are now part of a big community. And to me, community means care, it means kindness and compassion. And as Coyote and the others mentioned, it means knowing you have friends all over the globe. And if that safety, that feeling of there are people all over the globe that care for me and would help me if I'm in a difficult situation, if that exists, everything else will follow from that. And the only other thing that is helpful to keep in mind that I only realized later on is I now care about what happens in many, many different countries all over the globe because I have friends and loved ones there. So the care extends beyond the people you know, it extends to those places. And that's what we need to do. I am not giving a speech of the last decade and what happened and how the world can feel smaller, especially in recent years. We need to be part of that community that makes it feel big and close and connected. So I invite you to be part of that community. I know you will be. And keep in mind, this is only the beginning of what we are going to do together. Thank you very much. I congratulate you. And I will welcome Abby back to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Bijan. And yes, it is only the beginning, and we're glad to have you part of it. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And what you said about community, it is also the heart of Atlas Core. And I just really appreciate all our speakers today mentioning it. Class 39, Class 40, as well as our scholars from Cohort 1, Cohort 2, Cohort 7. We are excited to now welcome you as part of the Atlas Core alumni community. And we look forward to seeing what you're going to achieve and how you're going to inspire the Atlas Core community, as well as one another, as well as our global community. We are also here to thank and show our appreciation for the many members of our community, because Atlas Core leadership programs do not just happen. It is truly a team effort. Our host organizations, our volunteers, our donors, our fellows, our scholars, our team, and more, they all inspire what we are doing. And so I want to give a few shout outs. And what I encourage, people are watching from all over, if you can, shout yourself out on the chat, show your appreciation. I loved how our speakers, they did give shout outs to their local ambassadors, to their peer coaches. We encourage you, shout that out on social media. It's a way to show that appreciation. Some of the partners that I want to give a shout out to, some members of our communities, are our strategic partners. So these leadership programs were made possible because of support. The U.S. Department of State is key to Atlas Core, including the Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs, the U.S. embassies in Tunisia and Morocco, as well as At America in Jakarta, Indonesia. The U.S. Embassy in Jakarta was very key to these programs, as well as our host organizations. Thank you for engaging these inspired social change leaders. IBM, American Red Cross, Making Sense International, Charter Cities Institute, Evidence Action, Village Capital. Thank you for opening that door of opportunity. We also have our global faculty. These are facilitators and educators who share knowledge and experience and perspective with our Atlas Core leaders. Sean Bates, Marsha Florio, Dr. Marissa G. Franco, Nate Wong, Sam Vagar, Adrian Melendez, Adam Burke, Victor Ochen, Asha Varghese, Melissa Sassy, Trey Deadweiler, Lauren McDaniel, and many, many more. This is really a VIP list of inspirational leaders. And then a special, special, special thank you to our site supervisors at the host organizations and our peer coaches in the Virtual Leadership Institute. You walked with our fellows and scholars over these months as mentors. They engaged in monthly calls as they shared insight and served as guides throughout this journey. So really appreciate that extra effort you gave and that personal touch. And now, fellows and scholars. Okay, I'm talking to you, class 39, Class 40, as well as our cohorts 1, 2, and 7. Now's your time. Shout yourself up on social media. Let us know you're there because we congratulate you. Today we are celebrating you. We thank you. We wish you well on your continued and professional journey, and know that you have left a forever impact on Atlas Corps. We are confident you will continue to positively impact our world, and know that we are here to support you. So now we are ready to officially welcome you to our alumni community. So I'm going to ask us all pause. Let's do some shout outs on social media, and I'm going to do a shout out right here with the clap. So please let's share those remarks of positivity. And remember that once an Atlas Corps Fellow, always an Atlas Corps Fellow, and once an Atlas Corps Scholar, always an Atlas Corps Scholar. So as part of the full-time Atlas Corps team, and more importantly, as an Atlas Corps alum, I congratulate you and welcome you to our alumni community. So now as the Atlas Corps global community continues to celebrate our 15th year anniversary, I just want to remind you of a couple key upcoming dates. On November 18th, we're going to have a special virtual celebration, and it's happening at 12 p.m. Eastern. You'll be seeing details on our social media. Stay tuned. And then on Saturday, November 20th in Washington, D.C., we are going to have an in-person gala that we're also going to broadcast. We're going to be celebrating our 15 years. We're going to be recognizing our founder, Scott Beal, as well as honoring our 2021 Global Changemaker, Nina Vaca, as well as recognizing our 2021 Alumni Changemaker, Gargi Saha from India, from Class 1. So I encourage you, 15.atlascorps.org has details. Mark your calendars and plan on tuning in, or in DC, plan on getting your tickets and joining us. And I want to send you off with a celebration video that we created to highlight the amazing social change leaders graduating from Atlas Corps programming, and also highlighting the second half of 2021. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for supporting Atlas Corps, and keep up the great work. Make it big. Together as a global community, we can continue to support one another and inspire one another. And remember that nothing is impossible. Thank you.
Every second, every hour, we strengthen, we empower, the merit for sure. We are Atlas Corps. Every second, every hour, we strengthen, we empower, the merit for sure. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Change your perspective and change the world. We are social change leaders, so come to us and behold. We serve humanity, we are from the world. We address social issues, but we don't forget to have fun. Fellow is such a fun. You can get all the good work done, and we never jump the gun. You would agree, the one. Being a fellow is such a fun. You can get all the good work done, and we never jump the gun. You would agree, the one.